The Hotel Gracery in Shinjuku, or the Godzilla Hotel, is the only Tokyo hotel I've stayed in twice. Today I'll show you why the location's so good, what the rooms are like, the amazing view, and at the end whether it's safe to stay in Kabukicho and the price, so you can decide whether it's right for you. So we'll start with the most important thing. The Hotel Gracery is the Godzilla Hotel. There's definitely something special about that. As well as the famous statue, the whole top floor is the Godzilla floor. You can book this on Expedia. The corridor and your room are decorated with Godzilla. There's one extra special themed room, and 6 rooms have a view of the Godzilla head. All the other rooms are just normal. The lounge has a special dessert, Godzilla vs Mothra on a pancake island, and Godzilla drinks. Just as you enter the lobby, when you come out the lift, there's this Godzilla display. This is new, they didn't have this last time I was here. Look at all the destruction down there. They've got AR photo frames. You scan the QR code and you can take a picture with Godzilla. There's also a little stand here for your phone or your camera to get the perfect photo with Godzilla. Here's some Godzilla posters throughout the years on display. This is amazing. In the hotel lobby, you can buy this Godzilla, which is a tissue dispenser. Only 6,930 yen. Well worth it. A nice perk just for hotel guests is you can go out on the terrace next to the Godzilla head. The terrace is closed at the moment for some reason, but there's Godzilla. Hello. It's massive up close. And that there is the Prince Hotel that we were almost going to stay in our cancelled 2020 trip. There's also a really good view of Kabukicho from the terrace. When I stayed here before, I went out there and it was a real treat to be able to walk around right next to Godzilla at that spot you always look up at from the street. Wow, he's massive when you're up close. And here he is. He looks so much bigger when you're right up close to him than when you're on the ground. It's massive. Oh wow, there's one of the claws. That is one big claw. Unfortunately, it's been closed for a while now. I heard that someone tried to climb up to get closer to Godzilla and it wasn't safe, but that's not from any official source, so I don't know if it's true. There's no news on when it'll be reopening, so don't book this hotel just because you want to go out on the terrace, because it might be closed. If you come out the east exit of Shinjuku Station, you'll see the giant 3D cat billboard just ahead of you, and the route we're taking to the hotel is pretty straight from here. And this is the east exit, not the central east exit. It's also really easy to spot, not just because of the giant Godzilla head, but because it's a really tall, stripy building and it says Hotel Gracery on it. You can't go wrong. The Prince Hotel and the new Hotel Groove and the Value Star are basically in the same location, so they're really good picks too. Once you see Don Quixote on the corner, you know you're almost there. And the Prince Hotel is that brown building here. This is one of the main streets of Shinjuku. You can see there's so much going on, and things stay open really late here as well. You see these signs, it's actually on Godzilla Road. The hotel's right on top of the Toho Cinema complex. Go into the building just to the side of this escalator. There's a few other restaurants underneath as well. This sign is extremely bright. Walk towards it, but keep your eyes averted so you don't damage your retina. So there's a few shops underneath here, and very useful, here's your local convenience store, the 7-Eleven.
There are some right outside as well though.
Yes, a very short walk. There's always a huge selection of convenience stores. And there's the hotel entrance up ahead, Hotel Gracery.
I think if you have breakfast with them, I think it might be in this.
Oh yeah, Sakura.
Yeah.
I saw a sign for that. Morning buffet. So they've got cheesecake.
We never have breakfast with a hotel, right? Unless it's a fancy hotel with a rear or something. Otherwise, we just get it from a bakery or really, it's so easy to do. But if you like a big breakfast,
yeah,
all right.
That's an option. Only hotel guests are allowed up to see the Godzilla head. The hotel's breakfast is at the Sakura bar. Breakfast tickets are sold at the front desk on the 8th floor. 2,200 yen for adults. So we're going in on the ground level, and reception's on floor 8. And because the hotel starts on floor 8, that means your room's going to be quite high up, whichever floor you're on. The lobby is really spacious and they've got lots of desks there. Now the room is pretty similar to most Tokyo hotels. It's not that big, especially if you're from the USA. Be prepared for a small room. There's space to put your suitcases. You've got this little chair table set up, which you don't always get. Some rooms, especially the lower price ones, just have room to walk around the bed and that's it. There's everything else you'd expect. Air conditioning, a fridge, which is good for drinks and snacks from the convenience store. There's a USB plug for charging as well as the regular plug sockets, which is always useful. There's space to hang up your coats. You get slippers to wear in the room, which you can take home if you want to. These are all pretty standard things in most Japanese hotels. A nice touch is they provide umbrellas for you. You don't always get that, although sometimes you can borrow them from the lobby. The bathroom's pretty nice. It's quite spacious with a separate room for the bath and shower. Cheaper hotels tend to have a smaller bathroom than this and that prefabricated bathroom pod you get in Japan. From the way the shower is, it looks like it might be a wet room. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to flood the bathroom, so I used it over the bath just in case. There's a Japanese toilet with bidet functions and a heated seat. Every hotel I've stayed in Japan has one. They provide quite a lot of amenities, which is also pretty normal in Japan. Now, one of the best things about the Hotel Gracery is the location. You're right in the middle of Kabukicho, which is an exciting part of Shinjuku. It really looks and feels just like how you imagine Tokyo. At the end of the video, I'll talk more about Kabukicho and whether this is a safe area to stay. Shinjuku is my favourite place to stay in Tokyo because there's just so much there and so much going on. It is very busy, but to me it doesn't feel as cramped as somewhere like Shibuya because it's larger and more spacious. There's so much there right on your doorstep. All the shops of Shinjuku, lots of cafes, restaurants. This 24-hour gyoza bar from my video is really close by. You can see more of what this area is like in my street walk videos of walking to Harajuku and to Shinjuku Park. Shinjuku Station is a major station that's really well connected. It's on the Yamanote line, which is always useful for getting around. It's also on the Chuo Sobu line, which takes you across the city quickly to Tokyo Station and Akihabara. You've got a couple of metro lines. Ikebukuro, Shibuya and Harajuku are only a couple of stops away, and you can walk to Harajuku if you want to. Having said that, Shinjuku Station is the busiest station in the world, so it's not for everyone. Some people prefer to stay in a quieter area and have a smaller, simpler station as their local. But the benefit of Shinjuku Station is it's so well connected, so you can get around easily once you've found your platform. And I have videos about taking the train there if you want to see what it's like. Now, the view from your room is one of the big reasons why I like this hotel. You can see so much. I love this view. It's above a cinema, so it starts on a high floor, which is always something to look for if you want a room with a view. I was on floor 18 and it goes up to floor 30. We're looking east here, so you can just about see the Skytree, Tokyo Tower and the skyscrapers of Roppongi. When I stayed here before, I had a view to the west on the other side of the building. Now Kabukicho Tower's been built next door. I'm not sure what the view's like now. My tip to make sure you get a view is to look out for city view in the room types on Expedia. Now, something you might be worried about is whether it's safe to stay here.
Obviously the Hotel Gracery is in Kabukicho, which you might hear is the bad area of Tokyo. It is the red light district, but crime levels in Japan are very low. So you're fine just walking around the streets here. It's not unsafe at all, even late at night. However, the only bad things you hear that happen to tourists are here in Kabukicho. It tends to be when people get dragged into dodgy bars by touts who are out on the street. They get their drinks spiked, large charges on their credit card bills, things like that. So you can really easily avoid that happening. If you see any touts on the street, just ignore them. Pick somewhere to go yourself. Don't let anyone take you into their bar and you'll be fine. There are also quite a lot of touts on the street here at night, and you'll see a lot of girls standing around with signs. It's best to just ignore them and keep walking. Having said that, it might not be the best place for families to stay, I'll leave it up to you to make your own decision.
In my opinion, the over 18 stuff is quite discreet. Things in Japan are quite hidden and not everything's at street level. Particularly on the route between the hotel and the station, all the seedier stuff isn't that obvious on the main streets. Kabukicho isn't as clean as other areas of Tokyo. It's where people go out drinking, so you will see drunk people, sometimes very drunk people in the evenings. But I should mention that my room's always been quiet. You're up away from the street, so noise has never been a problem. We actually didn't get bothered that much by the touts this time. I think it depends on your demographic. Groups of guys probably get hassled more. Some people have told me in the comments they found them quite annoying, but just ignore them and keep on walking. If you're just walking around the streets, it really doesn't feel unsafe at all. There are lots of people around, even late at night, and lots of bright lights. There are plenty of places in the UK where I feel unsafe in the evenings. I think it depends what you're used to, but Kabukicho doesn't really feel shady. As long as you ignore the touts and stay out of their dodgy bars, you won't run into trouble. It's not like the bad areas of some cities around the world. I always think it's a bit pointless quoting hotel prices because they change so much depending on when you book, the time of year, the day of the week, and what offers are on, but people always want to know, so I paid about £160 per night. Now it's mostly £120 or £130 a night on weekdays, so it seems like the price has gone down from when I booked. It's higher on Saturday nights, more like £170 or £180, and some are more than that. The prices are also different on different sites, so when you're booking your hotel, it's always worth shopping around. There are cheaper hotels in Kabukicho and more expensive ones.
This isn't sponsored by the Hotel Gracery or anything. I have stayed here before and I chose to stay here again because I enjoyed it. It's a comfortable hotel, the rooms are good. They're not really anything special particularly, but they're clean. You get a tiny bit more space than some other hotels in the price range. The bathroom's nice and the location is so convenient. Plus Godzilla, of course. It's a large hotel and they're really used to having foreign guests, so everyone at the front desk speaks English. You don't need to worry about communication or anything like that.
I hope that gives you an idea of what it's like staying at the Hotel Gracery. As always, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments. And if you're planning a trip to Japan, have a look at my other videos for lots more tips and ideas for things to do. I'll see you next week with more Japan videos on Thursday. Bye bye.